Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass. Right. This is the latest Warrior Class, the one before the
workshop.
The live Warrior Class, which is a workshop.
Okay. We're excited about it. We're excited about it.
Very. Right. This Warrior Class is entitled, Is Violent Resistance Viable? Okay. You can say, is it still viable? What is it viable? Was it viable in the 60s, in the 70s?
Do you know of violent resistance? Because before I started my USPI training, I knew very little of real violent resistance, because that's something that they don't really want us to studying too much.
No, they're not teaching it in school. They're not.
Yeah, they ain't teaching
none of that, right? So we will be dealing with, is violent resistance viable? And we will have a very special guest, Black Power Media's own Kalonji Jama Changa. I say Changa, but some people say Changa, right? As an African traditionalist, I always say for the A. Okay.
I used to pronounce it chimichanga before I met him.
Chimichanga. I'm sure he's gotten that before, So Kalonji Jama Changa will be joining us, and we're going to have a great discussion with him. You can check out Black Power Media. You're on Black Power Media. You can check out Remix Morning Show.
Right.
Kalonji's on there. Jared Ball, Dr. Jared Ball. He paid money for that PhD, so I give him that credit. Kamal Franklin, attorney Kamal Franklin, he paid money for that. So
got receipts.
Burn It Down with Kim Brown. She paid money for Burn It Down, so we're gonna play with Kalonji Jama Changa, Jackie Lukman, the Riot Starter.
He paid us to say
that. Right. Jackie Lukman, and a host of others when they're brought out. So they bring out special guests and everything. That's Remix Morning Show, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 a.m. Be there for that boom bap breakfast. And to be here with us every Saturday.
There you go.
1 p.m. Warrior Class. What do we have in the news today?
Just so y'all know, when he asked about the news, we deal with news from a warrior standpoint. So if it's not dealing with certain aspects, we don't really comment on it. And also because we're a part of the Black Power Media family, if we know that it's being discussed on another medium, say on the morning show or something like that, then we really won't talk. We won't waste time with it. So you check them out. So we're not going to cover too much with the news. That the pushing for the vaccination thing is going on. What's happening with our brothers, our Haitian brothers and sisters. We know what that situation is. And we know that Fat Joe looked real bad in the verses. We know about that. We don't talk about that either.
Now, I'll say this about that verses. I like that verses, man. At the end, there was a lot of love. So you know it's not like animosity. All of that stuff is, and it always has been acted and stuff like that. To be honest, those are roles those people are playing. Okay, Joey Cartagena, Fat Joe, Joey Crack. Yeah. That's not who he actually. Those are characters. Okay, same with Ja Rule. Those are characters. So I knew that one. I'm like, man, they've done songs together, and they both have had goodness gracious, Ashanti on their songs, and I'm like, and I believe it's Ja Rule who writes Ashanti stuff and is written for Fat Joe too. So I was like, there's not a animosity there.
Fat Joe actually performed a song that had Ashanti on it, and
sure did. Right.
He wrote the song for Ashanti. He wrote that.
Right. Wasn't it New York? Was it?
No, they have that song together, but they had another one. It was another like an R&B song that Ashanti was singing.
That's right. Yeah, I remember they did it. So they, they had to pay Ashanti to come in, and people who Ashanti's in her 40s. Ashanti's nice looking,
Man, she bad. Anyway,
but
I thought that it was This is what I thought. I met Fat Joe in the 90s. I knew about Fat Joe
before he had the jacked up beard.
Right. Before he had the jacked up beard, he was digging in the crates, Joe. But I do think that Joe's let's say his streetness is it kind of came out a little bit.
Well, now the Joey Crack part, from what I understand, is real.
It's very real. That's what I was gonna say. Is that part of it is very real. If you, I have friends. I was in the Bronx in the early '90s, so I got to see Fat Joe in all his street splendor when I was back then. So he was for real. But his transition is cool. But I thought it was funny how the street came out when they was having a little a conversation. He said something. He was like, "Yo, don't let this go left now." Real fast, just like Styles P and Cameron had that little altercation.
Right.
You can see the street and folks like that part don't leave, no matter how much remove you are from that. So I thought that was interesting.
And you know, back in the day when I used to rap, I used to say such outrageous stuff because Quiz, that was my rap name, was a character. And I recognized that. I wasn't trying to be out of it. So I would say stuff like, you know, I catch you with your woman, I'll snatch her stomach and yours, I'll switch them and you have a fallopian tube. That kind of stuff, right? So yes. So you know, if people he gonna do like that really gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. But that, you know, I'm like, well, I'm playing this outrageous character, so I'm gonna just talk outrageous stuff. Some of the stuff would be real, but you know, I do martial arts and I can break your spine, but I'd rather shoot you down because it takes less time. That kind of stuff. Now that's real. I like it. That was real back in the day.
To form an MC, and that's why we talk about the verses, because it's a battle, and I actually want to see they got Diddy and he's trying to get Jermaine Dupri trying to get Diddy to battle, but Diddy wants Dr. Dre.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here, and I haven't rapped in years, but I want it to be a versus, as they say now. So on Black Power Media, they did the Big Pun versus Biggie, right?
I didn't
that was
see
nice.
that.
YouTube snatched it down, but you can still get that on the Black Power Media. What do you call that thing? See, I'm terrible with this kind of stuff. I was about to say the Black Power Media OnlyFans. What's the thing that you? Not OnlyFans. What's
the phone thing? What they call it?
Man, this is terrible. But we both. You get Black Power Media. You can get it on their thing. Kalonji will say what he gets in, right? Woo, boy, this is terrible. You know, I'm not so tech savvy. About to say that the damn Black Power Media OnlyFans. That would be hilarious to see Kalonji up there along there, Jared. But anyway, I want, and I'm putting this out there right now, I want it to be a versus between me and you against Kalonji, Jared. Jared was a musician. He had this band called Mama's Biscuits.
Okay.
According to him, I believe it too, they're the greatest band ever in Northwest Baltimore or Northwest something, Northwest Maryland, wherever it was at. Right, they were the best.
I believe.
And Mama's Biscuits said they were hot, right? So you know how to. He asked, could I keep it in the pocket? We were answering, okay, yeah. So now I'm putting it out. Me and Bile will have a versus battle against Kalonji. The Ear Doctor can spin. Ear Doctor's right. We don't have no DJ that can spin like that. So Ear Doctor can spin for both of us. But against Kalonji, Jared, you can throw Kamau in there. We'll take Kim Brown because Kim Brown got some lyrics. We'll take Kim Brown, and who else rhymes on that thing? Yeah, all of them. So
I believe we will smoke them.
I think.
I don't want to talk like I hate to talk. I don't like talking like that. But I believe we will smoke them.
We would. We
would see about that.
So we'll let's make it happen. It can happen right here on Black Power Media. I'll go back to my old notebooks. Edit them a little bit because I was a wild dude. So I'll edit them a little bit, and then we'll come at y'all. So
boy. Y'all don't want to do that.
3 songs.
I'm writing
5 songs.
I'm writing rhymes straight for you, like Gucci Man did for Jeezy. I'm writing my stuff for you right there.
Sure. I'm gonna start writing right after this show. No, so
October the 2nd.
That's big news.
October the 2nd, because a lot of y'all are here in Atlanta. So we definitely want y'all to be tuned in. We want y'all to be here live. We want y'all to be in the chat. We want your live questions. You're going to see different people working. So as a matter of fact, if you have anything that you may want to see, you may have some things that you want to see, put them in the chat. We'll read them. We'll have them on the in the workshop. We'll try to work them in. You know, whatever we got going for you.
We'll be from 1 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 hours because we're doing it workshop style, right? I asked before. I asked again. I won't say why, but believe me, it's for your benefit. Bring a claw hammer with you. And, you know, if you have a comrade, both of y'all bring a claw hammer and stuff. And
always
we'll
better if you log on with somebody else so you can work with somebody. So it's a much better experience if you have someone to work with.
Yes, indeed. So now we're about to get into our segment with our special guest. Now, we're talking about violent resistance. Okay. So first, let's look at resistance. Okay, resistance is organized opposition to an invader or an oppressive state. Okay, it may seek to achieve this opposition through nonviolent resistance, violent resistance, that's whether armed or unarmed, or it may employ both methods. Okay, we're specifically talking about violent resistance today. Is it viable? Was it viable in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the arts, which is the 2000s and whatnot? Is it viable today? Okay. Some examples of violent resistance.
I guess the most famous one that we know of here in America would be the Nat Turner Rebellion. So we call it. That's the 4-day rebellion of enslaved and so-called free Africans in Southampton County in Virginia in 1831.
You got Osceola, you know, he led
which I didn't know.
Resistance.
Keep it real with you.
So he's a Seminole chief, and I believe our guest has Seminole in his.
That's funny. I was gonna wear a Seminole hat today.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was gonna wear a Seminole hat because people don't know those with black folks.
Yes. Seminole, he was a Seminole chief who led a number of successful missions of resistance until he was captured by the United States during fake peace talks. Okay.
I know they confused a lot of us by thinking when we think Seminoles, we think of the Red Indians, the $5 Indians, and all that. Just know that was us. We still can be African, but just know that was you.
And we've got the Black Liberation Army.
Okay, the BLA operated in the United States from 1970 to 1981. They were very successful, resisted the oppressive and brutal state that was going on at the time.
Now, a friend of mine, a friend of Kalanji's, a comrade,
I know him as well.
is a member of the BLA. Daruba bin Wahad, which is a friend of Black Power Media as well. So I'm sure most of you all know who Daruba bin Wahad is. The man who we're bringing on knows him better than probably all of us on here. And so we're about to get into it. Those that employ resistance of any type may be labeled a terrorist group, terrorist, or a riot starter, right? Today, we welcome our guest known as the Riot Starter. This guest is my comrade and my brother, okay? He's an award-winning political activist who is considered by many to be one of the most effective organizers in the United States. He's the founder and national coordinator of the social justice organization FTP movement. He's co-chair of the Urban Survival and Preparedness Institute with yours truly. And he's also a founder of Siafu Youth Corps, the National Coalition to Combat Police Terrorism, and Mama's Army. He's the author of the best-selling book, How to Build a People's Army, and co-producer of the documentary, Organizing is the New Cool. He has been featured on numerous media outlets, including CNN, Fox, the BBC networks. He's a host on the popular Renegade Culture, Riot Starter TV and Remix Morning Show podcast, and one of the owners of Black Power Media.
When you move to Atlanta, if you're doing any organization or organizing, you're doing anything in the conscious community, you got to be like, you know Kalonji? Mm-hmm. And be like, oh yeah, I know Kalonji. Okay, that's how y'all know each other. Okay, we cool then. Okay, you cool.
Absolutely. I've met so many people through them. It's crazy, right? Probably about 30% of the folks I know, not just in Atlanta, throughout the United States, I've met through Kalonji. It's our honor and pleasure to bring you this warrior, this scholar, this father and grandfather, uncensored, unfiltered, Kalonji Jama Chanda.
We're going to pretend we got the horns right now.
Yeah, we're going
to... Hey, all that good stuff y'all said about me sound like an ass whooping when I get to class. How y'all feeling, man?
Oh man, great. How are you?
Man, I'm good, man. I could be better, but it wouldn't really matter, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. But I'm like real grateful to be on here with y'all today, man. It's definitely an honor, and the words Balagoon said is a mutual respect. And of course, Belay as well. You know what I'm saying? Belay is one of the funniest brothers I know. I'm gonna just say that. And both of y'all is funny as hell. Let me just say that. But that's that warrior thing, man. Some of the funniest brothers and sisters I know. They're dead serious when it comes to our people. So I'm definitely honored to be a part of the family and the camaraderie.
Yes, sir. Honored to have you here with us.
And you as well. You're talking about funny. First of all, both of y'all are the two funniest people I think I probably met in a long time. Off the cuff funny. So yeah, I just had to. And the most serious. I always say that about Baba too. Funniest person I met and the most serious person I met.
and I missed your birthday celebration, man. I had some jokes for you, but don't worry, I still got them.
I know you ain't gonna lose the jokes. You're gonna keep the jokes. You might forget the presents. The jokes.
What kind of African would I be?
All right, so we got some questions for you.
I got the first one for you. If you allow me, please, sir. So, as a man dubbed the Riot Starter, would you consider rioting as a form of violent resistance?
No, and I'm glad you asked that question, because I think the thing is, there's a difference between a riot and a rebellion, right? Okay. And I took on the name Riot Starter because of the fact that there was a situation up in Connecticut at Yale University, and things got, let's say, out of hand. So your brother ended up on the news, and they said, the Riot Starter, who started it all. So I just took that and ran with it and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But a riot is like, just some unruly, we just gonna get upset, we're gonna break shit up, and we're gonna start looting and stuff like that. A rebellion or an uprising is, on the contrary, something different. It's like, this is an organized situation. We are fed up, and we're responding to this situation because of the fact that we're absolutely positively displeased with how the state or whatever oppressive regime is acting. So to answer your question, I wanted to clarify that, because some people are like, why would he call himself the Riot Starter? You know what I mean? But so do I think that a rebellion is an act of violence? I don't or a riot, if that's were you going for riot or just based off the
right?
Okay. Do I think a riot is an act of violence? I guess that would depend on what the situation is for. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a form of violent resistance, yeah.
Oh, a form of violent resistance. Again, if it's a, depending on what the case is, if you rioting for some Rick Ross tickets, whatever, then, like, oversold the tickets.
Out Ticketmaster, baby.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find some kind of way to make it work, then I'm all with it. But I don't think that self-defense is not a violent act. You know what I'm saying? Responding to oppression is not an act of violence. It's an expression. You know what I mean? That's sort of like the state. It's like the police roll up on you, they attempt to whoop your ass, but you beat their ass, but then you charged with assault and battery and a police officer, but they attacked you. You understand what I'm saying? That's self-defense. So yeah, terms are definitely important. So I would say that you know, I wouldn't call it an act of violence.
Now, Martin Luther King said a riot is the language of the unheard. Okay. Since King is seen as the poster child for nonviolence,
Right.
And you made it clear that it's not violent, it's self-defense. What do you think King meant by saying a riot is the language of the unheard?
I think that he was smart enough, as young as he was, because the fact is, King never made it to either one of our ages on here. You know what I'm saying? King was assassinated at 39, so we got to keep that in mind. You know, so we give him credit for the fact that he was sharp. We can't doubt that. He was bold because of the fact that, you know, to march out in the streets and to you know, go to places like Chicago where he got busting his head over at I think that was that Merritt Park or yeah. And to still remain patient. You know what I mean? And in spite of all that, I think that you know, indeed he was a bold person, but I think that what he meant was he understood that the streets, the people in the streets were getting fed up, particularly after the assassination of Malcolm. You know what I mean? They knew that it's like, look, you know, they trying us, they testing us, you know, and then of course the Black Panther Party came along, and you know, the people were agitated and they began to, you know, rebel. And oddly and strangely enough, it was King's own assassination, in which I believe it was 100 and something cities around the country were burning because of the fact that they loved King so much. So indeed, a riot is somewhat of a response to, it's just like you being backed up in the corner. Cat keep bullying you. You getting bullied in school or whatever. You getting jacked up, and then all of a sudden you just explode. Like, look, I can't take it no more. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, look, I've been silent long enough. I've been quiet long enough. I can't come up with all the fancy terms that a lot of academics come up with, academia, but I know that I'm frustrated, so I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna rip shit in half. You know what I mean? So I kind of think that was the angle he was making an effort to express. But I also want to say, just from talking to some of his comrades, Mukasa Dada, for one of the things he told me a long time ago, he said, man, you see that Bible that I forgot what he used to call him, but Martin, he said, see that Bible Martin was walking around with? I said, yeah. He said, that wasn't just no Bible, he had a 38 inside of it.
Did you hear me just say that? I just said 38 and
38 snub nose had the Bible inside that Bible. So, man, you know, saying you nonviolent might not necessarily mean, it doesn't mean that you are anti-self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With us, I think it's safe to say we pro-violence because of the fact that, I mean, that's the only thing that seems to get the monkey off your back. You know what I mean? Right. You can't pray this ass whooping away. You can't write it away. You know what I mean? Like right. Balagoon always talk about. There's no warrior scholars. It's a warrior that happens to be a scholar. You know what I'm saying? A warrior cheesecake maker, motherfucker. Either you're a warrior or you're not. You know what I'm saying? I got the best cheese. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this then. So with uprisings in Chicago and Baltimore and brothers popping cops in Dallas, and even the worldwide uprising after the murder of George Floyd, there wasn't much change. Is it that violent resistance isn't effective as a catalyst for political change, or is it that people weren't violent enough?
That's a good question. I think with anything, you know, the beauty of the work we do, the beauty of EO. You know what I'm saying? You have it's build and destroy. It's not just, you know, being a warrior don't mean that we just going, you know, can I curse on here? We good?
Oh, of course.
You know, I'm just saying.
Damn what you said.
I'm gonna talking like I'm on And furthermore,
It's
so
not
you can say
Bob,
that.
it's not Barbara Walters. It's
Hey, man,
not Barbara Walters.
Y'all looking so sharp today. I'm like, man.
That's what I said, Barbara Walters.
We say Bobby Walters. Yeah, nah. So yeah, I think that indeed in some cases it's necessary to tear shit up, but we have to have the apparatus to be able to build. And that's one good thing about what we do with our organization is we say, okay, boom, we have the martial science, we have the whole warrior section, but then we have the political side of things, and they should merge. They should be one. It's not, I'm just over here talking shit on the microphone. If I can't defend what's going on, then it don't really make sense. But then we also have the agriculture side of things. You know what I mean? So everybody and everything got to play a role in this, from the hoes to the hoes. You understand what I'm saying? So on the farm, or if you're not on the farm, everybody and everything plays a role in it. So I think that it's all necessary, and to the point of not being violent enough, I guess that lack of organization is the issue altogether. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that if we have an organized front, then there's a system, and that's where we're being defeated right now. A lack of proper systems and folks falling in line, understanding what it is that we do. I appreciate the work that we do together from our movement side, because of the fact that, like, I talked about Lagoon a couple weeks ago. We can disagree on things, but we disagree principally. Balagoon and I, we never had no argument, no fight. Folks in our organization, I've never been in an argument or a unprincipled disagreement with any of our people in the organization, because of the fact that we all know our roles. You understand what I'm saying? When I step into the African Martial Arts Institute, look, there's a leadership, and I fall under that leadership. If you come into FTP, there's a leadership, and folks fall under that. It's how it goes, man. And once we understand our role, Balagoon's not going to be in the kitchen trying to cook. You know what I'm saying? Belay ain't going to be trying to, I don't know, feed Balagoon dog. You know what I'm saying? We got our positions and our roles. And I always say, stay in your own lane, man, and we won't have any accidents. So I hope
he actually had to feed my dog a couple weeks ago because he kept
he did?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he kept it. And that's why he said, oh, my God. Right after that, we hired a trainer.
That's when just like you said, I was in the wrong place. I was doing the wrong job.
Dog was hungry than a motherfucker. He was like, this nigga ain't fed me shit. That's why you always trying to bite Belay. You don't know why, about to go. Do a reading, and you'll figure it out. Like, oh,
right, exactly.
You ain't feed him.
The dog told me, he said, throw them bones.
Exactly. Balagoon gonna keep holding that. For the listeners, we had a situation, and I was so confident, cocky, and egotistical with my shit. I'm gonna say it. Balagoon was doing the reading. I said, throw them bones. He threw them bones. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. The bones are off.
The bones are live, boy.
The bones ain't live, boy. I'm like, shit. I was like, Urkel, did I do that? So definitely, we appreciate having a system of spirituality, a system of physical training, a system of mental and political education. So yeah, definitely.
Now, when a person is brutalized or murdered by the state, and people answer that with resistance, violent or otherwise, and that person or their families are trotted out to implore us to all get along or remain peaceful, how should we respond to that?
One of the things that Daruba talks about, because we run into a lot of families and folks like, well, that's not what the family said. Look, Mike Brown wasn't murdered because his last name was Brown. Troy Anthony Davis wasn't executed because his last name was Davis. You know what I'm saying? Freddie Gray wasn't executed because his name was Gray. They didn't kneel on George Floyd's neck because of the fact they said, we looking for a nigga named Floyd and we want to put our knee in his neck. They do it because they're black, brown, oppressed people in this country. So with that being said, we all have family members that if we died from natural cause, we wouldn't want their ass getting up there speaking on us. You know what I'm saying? So let alone a political stance. I had to tell a family member of a popular case, a popular national case. I had to tell him to his face and to an audience because he got up talking, trying to clear up what I just said. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I don't need no ventriloquist. You understand what I'm saying? I said what I said and I meant what I said. You don't run the political side of things here. Now, whatever wishes, you don't want nobody to put your family's name on a t-shirt. You don't want them to hold any type of, gathering or event or whatever that deals with that particular thing. That's one thing. But when it comes to the politics of liberation, when it comes to what the state violence that is being enacted upon us, then that's not everybody's role. We all, again, stand in your lane because the state is real savvy and real slick with their shit. They'll send out these reporters because they know you got this goofy ass cousin over here that just want to be seen. So they'll put his ass on the camera. Girl, we just need to get along and you know what I'm saying? There's been certain cases like where we literally had to hold some folks back to the side. And I'm saying hold them back in a nice way. You know what I'm saying? Look, don't touch that motherfucking microphone again because, you know what I'm saying, you don't need to talk. You know what I mean? Right. Black folks love to talk, and that's part of the reason why we're in the situation we're in right now. So, yeah, indeed. We don't, everything's political. And when it comes to the victims, we don't just leave it to just anybody to speak, man.
Absolutely.
That's like with our organization. Balagoon's not going to have certain people get up there and talk about, so the African Martial Arts Institute, we do such and such. Dude been in one class, and he bought the shirt. So now all of a sudden it's like, he's a spokesperson. That's not how it goes. You know what I mean?
And just what is it? It's the 23rd. I think what Troy Davis was executed on the 21st. That was just 2 days ago on to this day.
10 years ago. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
10 years ago to almost to this day. So when would you say, when should we employ violent resistance and what are the steps to do so?
When or why haven't we? When was yesterday before them damn boats. when was as soon as we saw them motherfuckers coming. That should have been we in the middle of the oven right now, you know what I'm saying? Shit, like we damn near done. It's like we've been baking for 400 years inside of hell. It's kind of late to be talking about when. It's like, boom, what we gonna do to maneuver. I mean, it's sort of like, we deal with urban survival preparedness. What do? The first thing is work on the preparedness. We're not waiting for the disaster to come. That's why, we expected a pandemic. Remember, some of our training, we already talked about pandemics. You know what I'm saying? What if this go down? You know what I'm saying? What if they was coming with that? We weren't psychic. It's a part of. It's historical. It's revolution. It's when you're dealing with a capitalist system, when you're dealing with a society like this, when you're dealing with an oligarchy, when you're dealing with imperialism, you expect certain things to come. Because like H. Rap Brown and Imam Jamil said, this what come with war. You understand what I'm saying? You got Belay, you from the hood. You walking down the street every single day. You got all kinds of gold chains. Everybody know you ain't strapped. You eating well. Everybody else on the block hungry, starving. Eventually, somebody gonna test you.
You're gonna be a plate for somebody sooner or later.
Man, listen, if not in your hood, I don't know where you from, but you're gonna get a sunroof knocked in your head from where I'm from. You ain't gonna remember all them chains. You be happy, you be taking them off for them, like, hey, take these shits. It'd be like kryptonite. You don't even want to see it no more. So yeah, man, we a little beyond when, but I don't I think that folks should be prepared for whatever. you know, in the nicest way I could say that.
Yeah, I think, you know,
I was going to say, can I
even
pose
as
that question
police-
to you?
To me? Sure.
I don't like his answer.
Well, I was just going to say, a lot of us don't look at the oppression of the state as a disaster, but it certainly is.
Mm.
So as you prepare for, and with USPI, we say we prepare for all disasters, man-made and natural.
That's
Right.
Right. So when they knelt on George Floyd's neck, when they kneel on all our necks, got down there every day, George Floyd wasn't unique.
Right.
That's a disaster.
Yes.
Certainly, you know, you talk about what the family of the person who was murdered by or whatever, that's a disaster. So it behooves us to prepare to defend ourselves. We know the best way of and the highest level of self-defense is avoidance. So do your due diligence in how to avoid
Interaction with the system.
interaction with the state.
Right.
You know, something go down, you have a argument with your cousin and you call the police. Police come, they kill you and your cousin.
Yeah, exactly. Know the politics. Know
This has happened many times. Why, you know, these people are not here to protect and serve us, and that's been proven. How many times they got to prove that they're here to rally us around, murder us, make us do what they want done, that they represent, the police are enforcers for the state. The state itself has no love for you. How many times they got to prove that?
Yeah.
Funny.
It's kind of like we just don't want to believe, because
That's what it is.
we were talking earlier that we don't want to believe people aren't like us.
Yeah.
You know, when I asked the question, ask children first, ask adults. I say, what does a rapist look like?
Yeah.
What does a murderer look like? What
Yes,
is,
we as grown folks.
you know,
too.
that's what I'm saying. Grown folks. One time I was with a bunch of sisters. I said, what does a rapist look like? Some of these sisters have been raped, and they were, he looked sweaty, and maybe the person who attacked him was sweaty.
Looks creepy.
He looks sweaty. Now we've been working out. He looks sweaty. He got thick glasses on. You know, I was like, God damn, that's me. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
I thought about
You know,
flux. No, I'm joking.
I got damn glasses on. I'm sweating right now.
Right.
And I said, you know, really, a rapist or a murderer or whatever could look like anybody. And so can the state. So we prepare ourselves. So, you know, you don't always be on 10, but you're always ready just in case. Because people love to say all skin folk ain't kin folk, but do they really believe that?
No.
When a black cop come and we crumping with them and all this kind of
we racing with them doing contests.
white boy, the crate foolishness that I'm glad died out quickly. White cop first, he goes like this, call me to surprise some sister, and then, you know, he got his eyebrow raised like he's just the coolest thing ever. Walks up the crate, falls, and then everybody hugging him and dapping him up. Man, ain't shit that the police do funny.
Yeah. I would love
They
us
got
to
you
hug
laughing. They thinking of killing you.
Right. Right.
I just read Emmett Till's mother's speech for the NAACP rally when she came there for in DC after her son died. And the not funny thing.
After her son was murdered. We ain't even gonna say he died.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Apologize for that. But reading her speech and what she said, and then you go back to the speech that Mike Brown mother says, like when you say like when is enough, like that was over 70,
1955.
that was over almost 70 years ago.
Yeah.
And yet it is was longer than that. And yet it's nothing has changed. It's, if anything, you know what I'm saying, we've become even more afraid, you know, to respond to that. And one thing that got me about what she said is, you know, before her son was murdered, when people got killed in the South, she said that wasn't her business. You know what I'm saying? But she realized that now anytime a melanated person is harmed anywhere around the world, that it's got to be all of our business. Yeah. And I just think that we just gotten away from that, man, that realizing or feeling that we, you know, anywhere.
I'll say not just a melanated person. Anytime you see an oppressive state take somebody's life, do we next. Right. It's coming for us.
Yeah.
So we have to look at, because now when I was young, I used to be like, oh, okay, those are some white folks murdered. Those are some Mexicans over there killed. Those are some Chinese killed. Man, the same thing can come for us if we don't learn the lessons from that, because the state in Germany, the state in France, the state in China, the state in the United States is the state, and they're all oppressive states.
Right. You know, one thing I want to add to that is I think part of the issue too, and I agree with what both of you just said, is we don't take this shit personal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we took this shit personal every time they murdered one of us, then it'd be a whole nother thing, because of the fact that if instead of us just saying it's a shame and that's messed up and maybe going rallying and all that type shit, if we literally dealt with that shit as if it was one of our own children, because it could very well be one of our own children, because this shit right now with the police, it's like the lottery. You know what I'm saying? It's who numbers up next. We praying and we hoping and I think the one thing about us, man, it's just like with death itself. We don't think it can visit our home until it visits. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because everything else, you're like, oh man, such died. Oh, that's messed up. Well, okay, man, I say keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't impact us until it impacts us.
You can see a clear example of that if we just look at our health, because your uncle got his foot chopped off. You still eating the same shit that's going. They got his foot cut off, and we do that all the time.
And we'll eat it right at the, what do you call it? The repast. You be right there eating the same shit they call it. What's on it? Pork chops.
What's wrong with us, man? You're the next person gonna be in that casket, man.
Yeah, you know? And they'll still have the same menu. You might as well not even change nothing.
What we talking about is I actually witnessed the dude eating, saying, "Yeah, I need to stop eating this cake, man. My daddy got his foot cut off, got the same diet I got, and he stayed eating the cake." It's a video going out like I think.
But you know, we've been mentally damaged, man. And we don't realize to the degree.
That's it.
Which is happening.
We're functional.
And even when I went to and they'll test you
functional brain damaged people is what we are.
When I had my heart attack, 2015, I'm laying in the bed. They bring me my meal out, and it's hamburgers. It's mashed potatoes with a gravy on it. I'm like, what? Damn!
I don't mean to laugh, but knowing how much you eat hamburgers. Or 8 hamburgers.
Well, you know, so
they did some research.
Right.
Give them a double.
Like, man, I want this hamburger, but no. And what was crazy, we went to New York. We're sitting there, and now my wife, I can Bobalai, they walking ahead of me, and I'm like, because I really was about to have it there. Oh, right. They steady moving. Right. Amo Soon is staying back with me. He's from New York, so he ain't just, sightseeing. Yeah. So he's just walking with me. And I'm like, I'm glad you stayed with me, because if I fell dead, they wouldn't even know. Y'all was going and I can bubble up there. Hey, this is great. I love New York. I'm like, damn, y'all.
Plus, you're in New York. They might have scooped your ass up and took you after you died.
Right.
Get that nigga shirt.
There, man, at dinner. And I said to y'all going, I said, this is the last. And I didn't get a hamburger. I was about to get a hamburger. Mm-hmm. I said, no, I'm gonna get some, I think, beef ribs or something. I said, this is the last beef that I eat. And I didn't know that. Yeah, for sure. I really, I was just saying something. I was gonna eat another hamburger.
Right.
I was a hamburger. For those that don't know, I was a hamburger fanatic. They know.
Yeah.
And
right.
that was the last piece of beef I was able to eat, because by the time we're driving, whole time I'm actually having a heart attack. Driving from New York. As soon as we get to our house, I get out. What's really set it off was me picking up all of our luggage and bringing it in. Woomy with us and everything. And Woomy said, "You need me to take you to the hospital, Baba?" I said, No, I'm gonna go in and watch The Walking Dead. I'll be okay. And I'm laying there watching The Walking Dead, just waiting for my heart to go down, and it calmed down. I said, "Yeah, well, calm down. All right, I'll be all right." Next day in the hospital, heart attack. And they're giving me each day. I got to send stuff back. Like, man, y'all sending me burgers. What is this? Y'all sending me burgers? And I said, "Dude, I got to get out of this hospital because they send me one more burger. I'm gonna have to go ahead and, eat the burger."
And this is a perfect example of how. So somebody, I'm about to go on left a little bit. How you might say, well, you changed the system from the inside, right?
Right.
So that's the stupidest thing I ever heard, because
Absolutely.
It's a system. It's the system.
Right, it's the system.
It's the system doing it. So I'm gonna be the cook. I'm gonna be the cook at the hospital. That way I know they get good food.
Right.
You still got to make hamburgers,
Right.
And they still gonna give them to a guy that just had a heart attack. It's just a little small example. This is system.
The system is perfect. You know what I'm saying? This is an absolutely perfect system, designed and devised.
Once again, you're right. It is perfectly designed to take your ass out of here.
I mean, and that's just it. And I think that, like you brother said, man, it's like we get so caught up in trying to change something that can't be changed. Now, you can go outside and you can have a Lexus, and you say, "Look, damn, man, I like this Lexus, but I want to turn this motherfucker into a Learjet." No matter what you do, you're gonna turn it into a Learjet. It's gonna be a Lexus. I was in robotic class, and I was an engineer, and I was I said robotics. All this shit, it's gonna still be a Lexus. Now you might turn it into a Hyundai or something. You know what I'm saying? Break it down to the you have a better chance at that. That motherfucker, it ain't coming off the ground, at least staying up. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be clear about that. And that's
any system. So EO, Eggbell Goon, for those that don't know, the martial arts system that we do, you can't turn that into karate.
No matter how bad you want.
It don't matter how or how many karate students come in there. I can't go into karate and change that into EO. It's a system. You're not gonna change that from within. I'm gonna make this EO off on the side. It's not gonna work.
With that being said, I'm so glad that you addressed the chat on the last morning show with folks with the whole what about this, what about that, because of the fact that is an example of where we are politically and mentally.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? Because of the fact that we will set up barriers for ourselves before we even get out we ain't even get off the screen yet.
Right.
It's virtual. We ain't even fuck practice. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You just on the screen watching. You ain't even in the classroom.
Right.
That's the degree of mental illness.
Yeah, I don't think this will work because such. I had some YMCA classes. My cousin did judo. You know what I'm saying? I used to box with Pal. You know what I'm saying? So, I saw Sugar Ray fight, and I really think, I mean, come on, man. But that is an example. So people talk about we need to stick together. Stick together and do what? Talk shit. We stick together in the club. We stick together in the graveyard. We stick together in jail cell. We stuck together permanently. You know what I'm saying? But what are we going to do together? And if I don't have a better solution to what it is you're suggesting, then I need to go to the drawing board and come back with something before I make an uninformed decision to just criticize what it is that you have to say.
And now, a lot of that is more about their mindset of not thinking they're capable of things too. You see, you tell a person, a African, like, hey man, you could do this right here. You got the ability to blah blah blah. They be like, oh, I can't do that. Well, wait, I can't do that because I got to do this, and then they ain't gonna let me do this and that. We talk ourselves out of something before the idea ever get out of our head.
But not only that, some of our people hate us more than they hate white folks. They hate us more than they hate the state. because of the fact that look at him, he think he's somebody. He think he. I get cats like, you know, and I got to remind folks it's difficult, and I'm talking to y'all and everybody else that's listening right now, but it's difficult even doing this whole podcast type thing because of the fact that, as you know, I'm not used to just sitting there and talking to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we're used to being out in that whole particular audience thing, so that therefore, if anybody want to, you know, they got the issues or whatever, we can deal with that shit live and direct right now. I ain't never got as much opposition in person as I do on the screen. It's kind of odd thing, but in the chat, motherfucker will chat your ass. Boy, you do a tight buy on you, you be leaking. I'd have been dead, you know, 18 episodes ago.
It's easy because you can be whoever behind them keys.
That's right. You can be Alicia if you want to.
In person,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And even the on-screen personality that we project,
right?
It's not what you'll get in real life. So, you know, and some people forget that. Some people really mistake this as what it all is.
Yeah, like we ain't in the streets and shit.
Right. I had a cat hit me up, and I sent it to the students. I said, "Look at this fool. He's like, I'm coming to your workshop, and I'm whooping your ass."
Yeah. He's a bad motherfucker.
I said, well, okay, well, you know what time it is and everything. You'll be my special guest. And he said, I'm coming. I said, all right, you know. And so I showed it to Ike and Bobala, them, you know, and Ike and Bobala jumped in there like, dude, you come, I will smash you, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. No, I don't want no problem with you. I want your teacher.
Yeah.
I said, Ike and Bobala, it's cool because he was mad. I said, I'm not mad. I don't understand why. I said, because when he comes in here, he's gonna leave here too.
Yeah, he ain't got to worry about him coming. I was at the Kroger.
Right, and he didn't show up.
Dude, I was at Kroger 7 o'clock in the morning. Mad at somebody we know mutually, and I'm already hot. And I go up in the damn Kroger and I'm walking and I see this cat. I'm like, man, that look like the dude that be talking crazy on Facebook and shit. And sure enough, he looked to the side. All of a sudden, every aisle I'm trying to get to, it's like he like do 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 do. I catch his ass in the cat aisle. He looking up the cat food, looking at Perino like. I'm like, I know this nigga ain't got no cat. So I rolled up on him, say, hey man. I said, yo man, what's happening, man? He's like, hey brother, come on. I said, yeah, fuck all that. I said, man, what's that shit you talking about? You do to me in person and shit? Oh nah, man. You know we had a disagreement. I said, oh, because you know we can go outside. You know what I'm saying? And you know you can explain to me where you know me from. You know what I'm saying? Oh, nah, it ain't like that, man. You know how I be on Facebook. I don't know, because I ain't really on there like that. I'm confused. So I'm like, you know, long story short, he wasn't talking that shit no more. He's like, oh, I didn't know you lived in the neighborhood. Nigga, you don't know where I live, and don't worry about where I live. But I know where you shop at. Let's just say that, motherfucker. And I got time on my hands. But that reminds me of our brother, Bakeem. Shout out to Bakeem. When the cat was talking crazy, he had to go visit him. Oh, I'm right across the street from your house now.
You gotta be surprised. You play with real people out there. Real things happen to you.
So somebody said to me recently, man, he's like, man, Balagoon, man, he don't look like he as dangerous as he is. I said, see, that's the thing. You motherfuckers are confused. Y'all let the image and the costume, that shit fool you with real shit. You so used to these facsimiles.
Who
you know what I
mean? For you then.
Yeah,
people on TV and the movies.
Well, you know what's happening even now. I laugh. I watch stuff. They'll say so and so, special forces operative, so and so will be speaking on so and so and all the big old white boys taking steroids. First of all, if he is, they talking like he is a special operative right now.
Right.
You cannot speak for 20 years of things you've done, or you're going to jail or paying that $10,000 fine or both. So
watch out, somebody snuck up on y'all. Okay.
Yeah, that's Obi Nikki.
She looked different on camera. Peace, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You know I'm sleeping. If I just let somebody, they just take a seat next to me and everything.
I was gonna say, boy, I'm like, boy, things done change, boy.
So, you know, so people really think that's what special forces operators look like just old big steroid monsters.
Right.
And that's why you won't see them coming when they actually are thin, geeky looking dudes who are trained killers and don't mind taking your life, right?
You know,
and not realizing they think it's all just stab and shooting, where the motto for special forces, at least, is the oppressor libere, to free the oppressed. They fool you to think they're here to free you. So they teach, what they do is teach the indigenous people to fight their own people. And they give them weapons. The CIA gives them weapons. And you're thinking that these people are good people, but you don't see them as, because they don't look like Rambo.
That's right.
And stuff. You don't see the danger that you're really in with these people around you.
Yeah.
You know?
And
so we always mistake those, but I'm cool with people mistaking me for not looking dangerous, whatever that is, because now if I have to protect myself against you, please underestimate me.
Right.
Listen, it's like, that's why I always get the disclaimer. We just look like this, man. It's all good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's you need. That's cool. I'm 50, man. I don't want no problems. And
Right.
and look, man, you know, whatever you feel like doing, that's cool with me. But all I know is that I'm leaving the same way I came. All other shit that sound good in theory, what you might do and all that, that's cool. That's peace. But I can't explain. My children ain't trying to hear I get my ass whooped. That's just not an understanding. I got grown children, so they'll laugh at me like, man, this is my dad. Can't go out like that. Man.
My children, students, ain't no way in hell.
I can't take no ass woman because I don't know what the ass woman gonna end up like.
It could end up in your death.
Right.
Anything,
I can't take the chance.
If you ain't get me in this first 50 years, I'm sorry.
Right. Exactly.
That's how I feel about white women. That's how I feel about white. That's how
they ain't got you now. They gonna get you later.
They ain't get me in my 20s and 30s. They fucked up now.
I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna hold you on that, brother.
Right.
Like B-Lady. My name is Sam, but
this is my cousin.
I'm eBay. Yeah. So it's funny you said that. You talked about like how folks look. There was a sister that used to come to FTP back in 06. She was hardcore, coming all the time. She wanted to do Feed the People when there was no Feed the People program. She used to call me up. Yeah, brother, I got some more food and sandwiches, whatever. I ain't got nobody to go to park. Well, okay, cool, whatever, so on and so forth. So one day I'm watching the news and shit, and the FBI is somewhere, they doing something or whatever, and they flash this camera, and they had these blue jackets, and I got a glimpse of this sister.
Oh, damn.
On everything. And I haven't heard from her since. I not got no phone calls. The phone ended up being disconnected after about a month. I have not seen her since. You know what I'm saying?
She must have realized they caught her on camera.
Yeah, I mean, she had to, because it was like, I'm sitting there, fuck me up because of the fact that she was nice, little, timid, you know, meek, you know, just, I mean, beautiful sister. But I haven't heard or seen from her since. Can't find her on social media. So her name probably wasn't even her damn name. Right. You know what I'm saying? But they flashed that camera over there. So that's an example. And I'm saying that to say that sometimes we get so caught up in the enemy looking like someone other than yourself. Right. You know what I mean? You can't infiltrate a situation if the people aren't comfortable with who you appear to be. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why one of the things about always being able to run checks. You know what I'm saying? I always get folks talking about, oh yeah, I used to organize out such. Oh yeah, where? I was in Durham or whatever. Okay, cool. You know such and such. Oh no, I don't know him. You ain't out there. Yo, you know somebody named such a. Y'all know that motherfucker. He ain't shit. We ran him off over here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? If you out here like what B-Lay said a little while ago, I don't care what community that you are part of. You should know who the hell's out there. If you don't have to be into African martial arts, but if you're serious about the arts in Atlanta or in America, and particularly you black, you heard the name. You know what I'm saying? You know about African martial arts institute. You know it exists. You might not know anybody personally. If you don't know me, you heard of FTP or you heard of something that I'm affiliated with because of the fact that that's the nature of our work. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not for bragging purposes, motherfucker, it's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I found both of y'all through organizing the community, through doing stuff like that. That's how I ran into both of you guys, or found out about you first and him the same way, being out there in the community trying to do something. They say, oh, you need to hook up with this brother. He do that.
You trying to bully us at first, man. I mean, he's trying to set it on us at first, Balagoon.
Get out of here.
It's the BEC. If you ain't
with the BEC, you ain't shit.
you ain't shit.
I was never saying that.
And then he had you on his show, and he's saying your name messed up on purpose. Yeah, bag old goon.
Yeah, because after the show was over, he said, "Okay, Balogun." I said, "Damn." He said it with the tones and everything, but on the show, he's like, blah 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 blah. I'm like, damn.
Hey, Mr. Lover.
I'll tell you what I won't forget. I won't forget when I tried to approach him and he didn't see me, but the students did before I knew him, before I knew them like that. Right. And it was at I don't even know if you remember this. It was at the thing that you be having at
Natural Atlanta.
It was the Kwanzaa thing when you was doing a little workshop in the back of that spot. Remember
he's talking about Ujama Fest.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I tried to the first Ujama Fest I tried to walk up on you, and all the students turned around and faced me. He didn't even see me. He turned around like, "What you was trying to do?" I was like, "Oh, I thought I could walk up on you. I guess this shit real out here." I didn't know.
It's funny, people, that happens to Balagoon. I noticed. I remember the other gentleman, the Secret Service agent slash martial art gorilla monsoon. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I thought I could get up on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this blah blah. This fool gonna grab me. Yeah, in a popular restaurant too.
I was trying to grab him now. That's a little too
much. He lay his head on my chest like, dude, don't do that no more. Yeah. He your girl's former boy. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. And she over there sitting quiet.
You know who that is.
You know.
Check like I ain't in this. Yeah. Blah. When the last time you talked to blah Balagoon?
Okay, all right.
Then we had to defend them one time. Remember that at a certain event because somebody came to town and people had them scared.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, man, you let dirtynigga.com come through and terrorize.
Real warriors. I hope he's not seeing this guy. I don't want you to feel bad.
Man, that dude.
I hope he do see you. Matter of fact, I might send you a copy.
Don't feel bad about your shea butterness. We understand.
No, he's more than shea butter.
Dick butter. Anyway, I'm sorry, man. I'm just messing up the show. They should have. Hey, they're gonna be like, we should have never brought this Negro up here. Hey,
crusty foot.
It's funny for techniques.
What you call it, dusty foot?
For our techniques,
they call that
we're doing
crusty foot. That's the new term.
Crusty foot? What's that?
That's the opposite of shea butter.
No, I'm the opposite of shea butter. I hope.
I hope so too. But
I think
I got pretty ass feet.
You're the neutral.
The new in between.
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't want to know about Balagoon feet. None of that stuff.
Well, you know what's crazy? When me and y'all gonna have the car accident, I don't know why I told them about the pretty feet at that point, but I was in the accident, so I had to take my shoes off, and the nurse, Boomy back there with me, and she was, going off on the nurse. The nurse was like, "Oh, you have some pretty feet. I'm gonna take pictures of your feet." Boomy said, "If you do, we'll sue your ass." I'm like, Boomy, hey, relax. I don't beat up on the lady. I think she's just joking, like shit.
People be taking it back on Baba feet and said,
man, clutching their pearls. Never thought people be like that. No,
BPM gonna cancel both of us.
I don't show my feet because I'm embarrassed by that. Because when I trained one time without shoes, and a sister came in and said, "You have some pretty feet. You have feminine feet." I said, "I ain't got shit feminine about me." I'm all taking it personal, upset, and so I haven't gone barefoot in class since.
For Balagoon, as your brother and comrade, I'd like to thank you. I don't want you to be showing me no techniques, and I gotta look over at your toes.
Toes
pretty
twinkling
foot,
and shit. Shit, man. Hey,
Flip flaps.
you know,
In the summertime, you wear flip flaps with French manicures.
no, hell no.
There were French manicures on your
I got French not just manicures, French manicures. The French tips on the mug. Hell no.
call them Frenchy.
Boy.
You get us ready for these techniques, man.
All right, so
Y'all crazy,
it's a pleasure having you. We definitely want to have you again with us.
Thank you, sir, for coming on. Thinking of.
Thank
man.
you.
Go ahead on there, B-Lay. I ain't messing with you.
And we would definitely have you on again. And of course, we're gonna be seeing each other on Remix Morning Show.
Yes. I've been trying to get back to class. Monday, that's gonna be my goal. So that's the joint.
We will hold you to that, bro.
We look forward to it. Then when one day he's gonna come into class, he's gonna hand me his part of Jagoon.
Hey, all jokes aside, and I've been trying to hold back. I'm coming with it. I'm coming though. It took me longer to be late section of the book.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to, because it's been a minute. I'm gonna have to go over my part again and rewrite it because we make it more modern.
What's
going on today? Because we had George Floyd and all kinds of shit going on.
But the crazy thing about it, it's like I'm not. I think that initially I was looking at it from one particular angle, and part of, and just like with training, I make shit more complex than it is because of the fact that I'm looking at it trying to be scientific and like, okay, well, I need to talk about this, I need to go there. But in rereading what you wrote, it made it easier because I'm like, okay, well, he already laid down the blueprint and as to how we're going about it. I'm trying to think of revolutionaries from 1798 over in Botswana when it wasn't Botswana, and I'm trying to get the names correct and the dates and all that. So I think I made it more complex, but my goal is to have that is to drop that and it be in circulation before the end of this year. So that's the goal. But hey, man, love and appreciate you, man.
This is the first time you interviewed me a bunch of times. I think this is the first time that I've ever had the pleasure of interviewing you.
It is, and I was nervous as hell because plus I knew he was going to bring B-Lay and the person that came late. And I was just like, man, I was like, that's why I asked you right before we came on. I was like, now what we supposed to be doing around, because I'm like, shit, what am I supposed to be talking about here today? But but definitely, man.
I would ask you any questions. I had so many.
I'm sure you did. Don't worry, save it the next time.
Hey, we'll be counting to see you at the Warriors class live too if you can make it. We want to see you there.
Yeah,
too.
I definitely intend on it. That's on October 2nd. That's a Saturday or Sunday?
That's a Saturday from
Saturday.
1 to 4. Yeah, next Saturday. Damn.
Next Saturday. Yeah, that's my goal. 1 to 4, and that's gonna be at the spot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, count me in. I'm there.
All right, wonderful.
Hey, love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Y'all heard that out there. You got them on the record.
I didn't want to say it to them just in case. We'll be in the parking lot. Yeah, we got 2 for now. Thanks, B-Lay.
Invitation only, so we see some strange faces. You might not want to show up.
It's all good, man. I got all kinds of new designs I want to try. So what I'm saying, anybody I want to see if these things really work. So it's all good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
It's a lot of frustration.
Hey, man. All right, love you, comrade.
Hey, love y'all too, man. Be strong, man. Appreciate y'all. Love the show, man, too.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes,
all right, salute.
Salute
to that brother.
I almost did like you and ended the broadcast.
Oops, I
That's an inside joke if y'all don't know what that is.
There you go.
There was a
all right, yeah, that was a mishap
with the morning show.
That was so funny. So on the morning show, if you don't know, Remix Morning Show, they brought us back on after we did Technique of the Week, and so we're talking with everybody, and at the end, I know where we're supposed to leave the studio part. Instead, I ended the broadcast, and then we're sitting there like two bad little children, ooh. And they came back, shot again, and their reactions were so funny after. What happened? And the ear doctor said, I think my lagoon was punching the wrong, ended up punching the wrong buttons, right? And then I had talked about how I had got hit in the groin by these girls that set me up, these little girls, when I was young. They said, Adam, come over, my government. Come over. And I came over there, and one punched me in the groin, right? And then they laughed. Hee, hee, hee. I'm, why y'all do that? So Kamal says, he said, I'm gonna do them like those girls, come on, come here, Balagoon, come here. And I never touch that motherfucking button again, right? It was so funny. Yeah, it was so funny. I was embarrassed.
No, he was joking.
I was embarrassed I know he was joking. But I was just, to make that kind of mistake, I was so embarrassed. So today not today, goodness, it's Saturday. Thursday when they brought us in, after talking, I'm carefully in slow motion moving to hit the right button. I was like, I ain't gonna make that mistake ever again. So now we're about to get into techniques dealing with related to this issue. So we were talking about, violent resistance. Is it valid? And like Kalonji said, when we're attacked by the state, it's really not violence. It's, even though we're not anti-violence now, but it's not violence, it's really self-defense.
Right.
And so we have to understand the difference in the terms and know why we do what we do. So we're defending ourselves, and you have the right to defend yourself. You absolutely should defend yourselves. Train to do so you do that with some common sense.
Even in the Constitution, if you believe that that's written to have anything to do with you, it says if you think, in the event that you think the government has led you astray, it's your duty.
That's why the
Right.
January 6 people are going to be getting off left and right.
Just train though, because, of course, we live in a different world than
Exactly.
But train so you know when and how to move properly. Okay. And that means you got to not only have techniques, you got to have politics as well. Okay. But we're going to deal today with some techniques, multiple opponents, which we go back to because when we talked to Kalonji, who's known as the Riot Starter, right? And anytime a riot gets violent, you're in a multiple attacker situation, period. And how do you deal with that? And I really say multiple opponents because they shouldn't get a chance to be your attacker. You should be their attacker, right? And so we say, well, doesn't the attacker move first? The attacker moves first. But if Bile says, man, I'm gonna kick your ass, and I stand and wait for the ass kicking to come, that's not very intelligent.
The first move is what I said.
So I move on you. You said you're gonna kick my ass. That actually initiates this encounter.
My move. Right.
He made his move. He just didn't make a physical move, and I make a physical move now, right? To make sure that ass kicking doesn't exist. So we say if you don't know a thing, it doesn't exist. If a thing don't exist, you don't know a thing. So you don't know what my ass whooping gonna feel like. You whooping my ass to me. You don't know what it feels like because I'm about to whoop yours. That ass whooping for me is not going to exist if it's within my power. And I don't care who that comes from. Because no matter who, if Joe wants to whoop your ass, Officer Klomsky or whoever, key word is ass whooping. Not Officer Klomsky wants to whoop your ass. The difference between Officer Klomsky and Joe is Officer Klomsky does have a radio and he can call other folks, or he may have other folks with him. That's what makes him different. But his mind, his body, they're all the same. That means they can all be taken control of. They can all be shut off, all broken up. You just have to recognize. So you can't let shit get out of hand, though. You can't 199, we've got so-and-so, and we've got one here, and I need some backup immediately. I'm in danger. You're going to have 20, 30 cops on that ass, right? I watched a video of 20 cops attacking this inmate. And he wanted just one. And I said, well, this isn't very intelligent that he's willing to take an ass whooping from 19 cops to beat one's ass. That's ego. I get him later. If it's like that.
Yeah, when he by himself.
I'm not right. I'm not going to be fighting no 20 folks and they on him. But the reason, and if he had to know how to stack them, he could have gotten a couple of them. But he really just focused on this one. They piled on him.
It's emotion.
And because they got emotional too. So they're piling on him. What's that going to do? They ain't doing that. They hitting each other. One dude trying his best to hit him. He's hitting his partner in the face like 3-4 times. There's so many of them around. They got on top of the dude, and the dude pooped his pants. And they all got up. And number one, to let you know they're not combatant. This is, once again, we were talking earlier about the difference between the mindset of a fighter, a regular Joe, warrior, a shea butter soldier. If somebody poops their pants and I'm getting in their ass, I'm getting in their ass for a reason, right? They shit on themselves. The fight keeps going. The fight keeps going. I watched the MMA fight. Now, these fights, I said, now, the mindset of that fighter, she's more of a warrior. It's 2 women.
Yeah.
And the woman, she's fighting one woman. She hit the woman in the gut. The woman just pooped all over the ring. Yeah. And they're fighting. Now, for a fight in the ring, I would have stopped. I ain't getting poop all over. It's not worth that. But out on the street, now I'm going to really make you pay. You done pooped, and it's on me. You got to pay. You got to pay, right? But I'm not going to, oh, let me stop. I get up, and then you stab me. No, well, okay, well, you're going to poop your pants anyway once I get done with you. So,
but I wanted to add to what you were saying too. When you so an attacker may even get a chance to strike physically first. But I remember that's one of the things when I first started training that only ends up as what we call a beautiful death. That means you punching me, well, you gave me that arm, so you decide that that's what you're going to give me to work with at that moment. And so, yeah, you may get your so-called attacker may get the so-called strike first, but they really don't get the first attack off.
And or even if they do, training allows you to withstand certain blows and things of that nature.
Exactly.
You have to turn yourself, but quick, because you can't take too many blows.
Right.
Even if you're covering and they can't hit you, you can't take too much to your arm. It begins to deaden it, right? You have to quickly turn from defender to the offender, from the victim to the attacker. You have to.
Seamlessly.
You cannot continue to be the victim. That means you cannot have the mindset of self-defense. Oh, Lord. If you're doing this, it has to be a strategy so you can defend yourself. Okay? This has to be strategic. It can't just be because you're afraid. The way you beat fear, people say, well, do it in your face. You're just going to be afraid. You can only have one emotion at a time. That's the key to that. You can only have one emotion at a time. So if my emotion is laughter or anger or righteousness or whatever that may be, fear can't come in at the same time. Fear cannot come in at the same time. If you and your spouse or loved one are having an argument, and if you just reach over, kiss that person, and you kissing their neck and all that jive, either they're going to leave the situation because they want to stay mad, or the madness is going to go, because two things cannot be there at the same time. Right? So somebody asked me one time, well, when a man rapes a woman or rapes a man and he has an erection, he beats that woman too. He's angry, but he's also turned on. Wrong. Rape is not sex. Rape is an act of violence. It's a certain act of violence as much as shooting somebody or stabbing them or kicking them in the jaw or whatever. Rape is an act of violence. It's not an act of sex. So we're talking about something that's totally different right there.
Yeah.
Okay. There are also serial killers stab a person and have an orgasm because for them, that's sex. For them, that's not an act of violence. It's insane. You still deal with it if you protect yourself against this fool like it's an act of violence. But for his crazy ass, let me not use crazy because some of us got mental. Yeah, let me use crazy because all of us have some kind of mental issue. That mug is crazy. Him doing that and having an orgasm from that, for him, that's sex. But it's still very violent. You got me? So he's not using his penis.
Psychopath.
Right. Reality is different for him. All of those things. So once again, we talk about disasters, natural and man-made. That's a man-made disaster. You run into somebody like that. And you have to know how to deal with it. You have to be prepared to deal with it. But once again, I said the difference between Officer Klomsky and whoever, there's really not much difference. That crazy dude there, he got the same physiology of the shea butter soldier. Same physiology. So you break him up, just like you break up anybody. He still will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure.
Yes.
People say, you crazy. He wasn't that crazy. Insanity has nothing to do with your physical being. You can't turn that shit off. You're wanting to survive. That you're not turning off. So they still have that will to survive.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that can turn that off is certain drugs. Certain drugs can turn that off. You take those drugs. There are certain mushrooms they would take, the Zulu would take, and they would fight. You know, one person would fight 50. He gonna die, but he gonna fight still. So he gonna still, kill a couple of them before he dies.
They still got good cocaine like that out there, I think.
This is, well,
I don't want that.
If so,
the last minute,
I'll put it in my go bag. I talked about it the other day. In my go bag, and if this is our last stand, y'all.
We're gonna have all types of drugs in the go bag. We gotta go.
It's our last stand. Let's take it. I never took cocaine in my life, but
I ain't never done none of that shit.
They'll make me throw down like that. Hey. So we're gonna deal with multiple opponents. When you're dealing with multiple opponents, you want to stack them. Okay, and we're gonna deal with this because we had a good old long conversation with Kalanji, right? So we're gonna deal with this in short time.
All right.
You want to stack them, you want to slap them, and you want to get to your tool. It's real simple. Stack, slap, get to your tool. Let's turn the camera on around and we can get to it.
We're gonna go bootleg with no warrior cam today.
There we go. So, dealing with multiple opponents, the two of them are right here. I cannot deal with them like this. Possibly, but I don't want to. I don't want to fight two people. I want to fight one person multiple times. You got me? Well, if there's 5 people, there's no way in the world. Okay? It's going to go bad for you. People say, well, I watched the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and they fought 10 people. Like, you watched the movie. Yeah, that's good.
It Man could do it.
Yeah, It Man, It Man, boy, It Man to go in there and fight 50 people. It Man would be dead quick. These were movies. It Man was a real person. It Man used to sit in class smoking opium. He ain't fighting 20 folk.
Nah, he was on that dope.
He was on that dope. Not the TV, so the movie you see don't show that.
He was on that dope, bro. He was on that dope. You don't fight good on the dope. We done seen
in one of the movies, they tell him you got to stop smoking.
Right.
So you don't get, because he had cancer. You have to stop smoking. But they say, well, he was smoking opium and smoking cigarettes.
He was high as hell.
And we ain't judging him. It's just, that's how the shit was. That's the reality of it. His student Bruce. Bruce got high too. So that's just kind of like that culture thing. I haven't gotten high off no drugs, but y'all know I get drunk off of one beer.
Yeah.
if I was high, I don't know if I could get down. I'm wondering about it. Like if I was high, could I defend myself? Could I protect myself? I don't want to find out though. You know? But if I'm ever drugged, somebody stick me with something, could I fight?
I test myself just to see who I just test it just to see if I can fight.
Now I'm gonna say this: I took an edible, and something runs by the window. I don't know if I can defend myself because I'm seeing shit that I mean, I see this dude. He's standing right in front of me, and I'm seeing him.
What kind of edible was that?
It's a Chi-Town edible. No, it's a Chi-Town edible. That's 100% THC. So it was too much for me. Once again, I get drunk off of wine and beer. So too much for me. So I was done. Y'all may take the edible and say, man, it's just a gummy bear. Yeah. All right. So you got to stack them. That means I have to move in a way where I'm dealing with one person at a time. Hey, I don't want no problems. I really don't want no problems, right? So now I'm dealing with her as one person, right? Or I'm dealing with him. So I move so they're here. As she's trying to move around, I'm moving to keep just this one, and I have to attack because, of course, they'll end up moving around, picking this stuff out and moving quickly, right? So I move around. Once I get it in there, boom, 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 I go at him and I go at her. I said slap because if you're punching a bunch of folks and you're not conditioned, you may end up breaking your hand. Adrenaline's flying, you're hitting hard, you may not know how to hit well, and you end up breaking your hand, or worse, dislocating your wrist. That's bad. That's really bad. Broken bone, healed 6 weeks. Dislocation, it was a complete tear, you're talking years. So.
And it depends on where you're slapping that. You might do more damage with that slap.
You can't, the slap should be like a palm anyway.
Yeah.
So you want your hand like you open up a big pickle jar. Okay. So after you stack them, you slap them. So we're here, you stack them. And now, if you've ever seen the Remix Morning Show, us do this, our technique of the week is that you're going to need pads. Malik, can you grab the pads real quick? 2 pads, because your hands are drying nothing in your face. That ain't going to
My ears
help.
My ears still cover. They're going to cover my ears with my hand. Yeah, I was about to say, you could check the Remix Morning Show.
Yep, we did part of this on the Remix Morning Show. So after they're stacked, immediately now, I've moved. Before that person moved, I got to give it to him. Slap. If you can only use one hand, this one may be injured, or you may only have one hand. This one.
Lord have mercy.
You give it to him, you okay?
Yes.
You give it to him. Turn your hip. This summation of forces. Largest joint first. Hip, then your shoulder, and then that hand comes.
That's powerful, y'all.
So, you say, well, hey, I don't have no problem. What's wrong with y'all? Boom, you give it to him there, or you give it to him there, and then you move to the next one, okay? You say, well, what if he's not down?
Shit.
If I slap you like this,
listen.
if you're not unconscious, you're going to be...
With these pads, I'm hoping he don't do that shit again. I'm not even joking, y'all. That's powerful. You don't want to get... It's just the ear. You don't want to get hit on that. It's just really powerful.
And it's not just me.
No,
any of you can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody here, boom, you'll be like, shit, right? Because it rocks you. It rocks you to your core. Boom, slap. And now, of course, you don't negotiate with this one because they know it's a fight going on.
Yeah,
well. Boom. Cover up. If they throwing, boom. I cover. There's a thing you hit me. Boom, boom, boom. Then boom. Give it to him. You say, if you hit him, and then you go over here, this a woman too. If she was attacking me, she gets the business too. That's the only kind of way. I ain't hitting no woman other than that. But if I'm defending myself, protecting myself, so if I think of defense, I'm protecting myself, right? If I think of defense, I'm not gonna do nothing because I'd wait for her to attack me and she's a little woman. I'm like, well, sister, you need to just leave. Now, that ain't happening. She's like, okay. And she turned around and just gun me down. No. Ha, ha, right? Hit. I would hit with the back of my hand. She blocks right there. I pull that down. Ha, ha. Give her that one. Bah, right? And then I'm out. Now, if people saw, they just cut the video
And just see
outside and see me slap shit out of woman. Now I look like a bad guy. Don't worry about what you're gonna look out.
later.
Because right,
Go home.
right. You explain later. Say, hey, I know they caught me on camera. I was on CNN and I got caught. You know, because she was about to attack me too. Now, of course, when it comes to when they talk to her, I was just there to speak. And, I really was trying to talk things down.
Yeah, it's okay. No
You know,
matter, you made it out of there. That's what
you
matters.
got right. You got home. You may be embarrassed later. Get home. Okay? Because even him, I slapped him. Boom. Then find out he was a preacher who got stage 4 cancer. I couldn't worry about that at that time. Okay. Don't worry about these things. What if he so and so? What if he so and so, so and so, so and so? A dude in a wheelchair told me I was gonna give him money. He said, or he was gonna whoop my ass. Every time I drive up off the expressway, he'd be right there. He wheeled up to me. Last time he told me, I said, the time before, he said, let me get $1. I said, but I don't have no dollar. He said, well, then next time I see you, I'm gonna whoop that ass. So I said, this motherfucker gotta be crazy. So I drive off. I come next day. Not the next day. About 2-3 days later, I'm going to my friend's house. Come up. Hey man, let me get $1. I said, I don't have it. He said, you know what time it is? And he came over to the car. I get out the car. I said, man, you better go home. He said, you know what? I gotta get that ass. The same thing. But down here, he fell out the chair. I said, man, get up. I'm like, you can't be crippled. You can do that. I said, get up. I said, get up. I said, oh, shit. I felt bad then. Like, oh, shit. I said, man, I'm going to have to go ahead. You know, he jumped up then. I won't say what I said. I'm about to go ahead but, you know, you can't just leave somebody there. And so he jumped up and took off. I said, whew, should make me feel better.
Yeah, all right.
But it reinforced what I've always been taught. Look, somebody threaten you, you don't concern yourself with their condition.
That's a great lesson, though. That's a great lesson. Because you might have did something, turned your back, felt sorry for him.
Got up and whooped my ass. And that's why he didn't think I had no go. And he knew he could walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so he like, you know what time it is.
You ain't about to hit no dude in the chair. You ain't gonna do that.
Right. That's what he ain't gonna do. But he's gonna jump up, bam, hit me. I'm shocked that he
He got
can walk.
a surprise and everything.
And when I got out the car, he still probably thinking, as soon as he look away, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna hit him. He didn't think that he's gonna catch that one. And it was beautiful because he was shocked. No hand went up or nothing, right? And my wife asked me, well, what if his hands didn't go up because his hands were crippled? And you know, you couldn't use them, and then you knocked him out the chair. I said, I'd forever be guilty. And I said, y'all have never heard this story either.
Yeah, I was saying shit. You still said you was gonna whip my ass. I ain't got nothing to do with your hands working out. Goddamn, you should go.
Now that's true. Now he was a fool if he said he was.
Yeah, you can't move. You just gonna talk shit. Excuse me, y'all. A little bit of
See, once again, we have a different mindset, y'all. But you know, if you are in a certain position, and you just shouldn't be talking shit to people. You shouldn't be threatening.
Don't talk shit to people.
Don't talk shit, and definitely don't threaten to beat nobody's ass. When you threaten to beat somebody's ass, just so you know, you're telling them, I can possibly take your life. So if somebody says, man, I'll beat your ass, they're telling you, well, I may take your life in this.
Yes, I'm gonna beat your ass. You could die in the process. That's what I mean.
Right. So don't allow that to happen to yourself, and don't do that to nobody. You're out here telling people you're gonna whoop their ass and then think that there's no payment for that shit. You gotta pay for that. I beat your ass. Well, you gotta pay for it.
And if you bother, you just beat that ass.
Right. They ain't talking about drug dealers dealing outside our house when I was growing up. We're sitting on the porch. My father pulls up. He's like, hey man, y'all gonna have to get from in front of the house doing what you do. You can't be doing that. I don't want no heat coming to the house. My father had all kinds of tools.
Sounds reasonable enough.
And the dude said, motherfucker, who you think you talking to, motherfucker? I'll beat your. That was all they got out. Ha! Boom, through him. boom, and he's stomping. He looks up at me while he's stomping. The dude says, son, never tell a man what you're going to do. Do it. Boom, boom. And then he got in the car, left.
You didn't have
He was gone for a few days. My father has transitioned, so can't nothing happen to him now. So the police can't do nothing to him now. He didn't do it.
Right.
Well, he just
Whether he did
helped
or
the
not.
guy. He just helped the guy along. But all I know is I was sitting there like, damn. I'm not really shocked at that. I knew that was gonna happen. Happen to that dude. But I was shocked that he's looking at me, teaching me.
Damn
Like,
right.
he's stomping that dude. I said,
That's hard.
I said, okay, Daddy. You got in the car, left.
That's hard. That's hard.
And then I got went in the house. Read my comic book. Yep, read my comic books, goddamn. Cause shit, I ain't want no part, so I don't know what happened with him. He probably just got up and went home.
Maybe. We won't know.
We'll never know.
Because he threatened somebody.
Because he talked about he'll whoop somebody, tried to say he's gonna whoop somebody's ass.
You never know who you're dealing with.
Never know.
Don't underestimate, be mindful.
Don't underestimate and respect everybody. Even if you think they don't deserve respect everybody, because you don't know who you're dealing with or what they're dealing with in life.
That's big right there. Why you out here being rude and nasty to people and you don't know what they're dealing with.
Exactly. It could be a ticking time bomb. So next week, we'll be live 1 o'clock. It'll be 1 to 4. So get ready to work with us for a while. Have your training clothes on.
Right. You got time to get your partner. No excuses. You got time to get you somebody to work with.
Your
You got
partner.
kids. Force them. It's your children.
Yeah, your children.
What you having fun if you ain't gonna make them do stuff?
Right. And if you bring a claw hammer, if you don't have a claw, can you grab a claw hammer so they can see what that is? If you don't know what a claw hammer is, I don't assume. Bring a claw hammer. If you don't, bring a little stick or something. But this is ubiquitous. It's everywhere. So damn near this and a knife, you can find it down there everywhere.
If you don't got a hammer, go get one.
You can get a hammer for
You
$2.99.
can't be alive in the world without a hammer. You need a
You
hammer
should have
for
it
something.
anyway,
Come on
yes. Everybody uses a hammer for something. So get yourself a claw hammer. Now they have other ball peen hammers, the one like this. It's got a little round ball, almost like the head here. Don't get that. Don't get that. Get the claw hammer.
now. Not a mallet either. Not a mallet.
It's not a mallet. It's gonna be a surprise why, but get you this claw hammer. If you want to watch the movie Old Boy, not the one by Spike Lee, the original Old Boy, or the Raid 2, I think it is, and you got Hammer Girl in there. Watch that, and then say, "Wow, I'm not gonna be doing that," because you're not gonna be doing that on Saturday. You ain't gonna be moving like Hammer Girl and all that. But a hammer is a good tool.
Never an arm.
Never unarmed.
The African Warrior's Guide to Improvised Weapons.
So bring a
little hint.
hammer there. Bring whatever, a stick or whatever you're gonna bring, and bring yourself and somebody else. Comrade, child, spouse.
Yes, sir. We're going to also task you with the responsibility of letting at least one other person know about the broadcast, please.
Yes. And always
help us grow.
Like, share, and subscribe. All Warrior Class, all Remix Morning Show, all Black Power Media.
We need your likes. We need your likes. We need your likes for the analytics, please.
Please do. All right. Love y'all.
Thank you, Kalanji.
And yes, thanks again, Kalanji.
Yes, sir.
Stay black. Love y'all.
Kalanji Chimichanga.
Peace. Chimichanga. You had to throw that in there. All right, peace.